Let us continue on our Calibishie Chronicle tradition with our discussion of the different communities and life in Calibishie in general. On previous episodes I said that Calibishie is a village, but we are also a community. So we're a village community in that there are several institutions within those little communities and hamlets which cause people from the village to prosper beyond just the village but outside. And I'm a very proud exponent of the Calibishie community. Of course, we have villagers who are part of the community setting who are just contented with being village people. But we will talk about that at some other time. And there's no difference between a community resident and a village person. It's just a little nuance in terms of our understanding of the two. So Calibishie is a village community. And part of the community, well, the community consists of several sub-communities and residential spaces, like Backstreet. I believe Backstreet is the most affluent community in Calibishie. I might be biased because I'm a Backstreet fella, but I don't know. My house number in Backstreet was 7358, and my phone number was 445-7355. I do not forget these things. I remember Lindo wired our house for electrical power somewhere around 1975. Boy, I can't remember. I can't remember the year exactly, but I was a little boy and I remember seeing Lindo wiring our house. Before that, we had no electricity. At home, we used kerosene lamp and candles, and my grandmother used to make a little oil lamp with a little wig and a cross kind of matchstick apparatus, and that used to be our light at nights. Things like pipe-borne water, and these things came late. Our water was from the Liviadu River with all the essence that came with the water. Of course, we would boil it sometimes before we drink it. Sometimes we just drink it like that. Anyway, I believe Backstreet was the most prominent community in Calibishie. I'm not too sure which is now because I don't live in Backstreet anymore, although I visit quite regularly, and I believe we are the epicenter of action in Calibishie. Back in the day, fellas like Gaston and Leroy, you know, Coco for Cayenne, who lived on the other side of the street, but he was a Backstreet boy. He naturally converged into Backstreet life. People like HOWELL, Pin, Appa, these guys were Backstreet boys. You know, Glenn from out a bit younger, but he was part of the Backstreet fraternity. Quail, my dear friend, Scott, and Alvin Fortewes, who lived on the border between Backstreet and Liviadu, was also a Backstreet boy. Latham and all these guys came across to be Backstreet boys. Even Pippi Ritz on the Hill was a Backstreet boy. That's where he spent most of his time. And fellas like Cairo, Santi, Gerald, these guys were Backstreet boys. I believe Backstreet began or started from the Mayon Massa shop, and it goes down through by Tabes and the young Edva and them over there, sorry, Leonard and them over there, and it takes Mayonnaise and Miss Dolly and Miss Jenya and Didil, come all the way down past us there, down in the corner there, all of that go down to Mababo, Miss Wiz, and then Vona, we had Poyo, Yo, sorry, and Damai, you know, Elmina, and the entire area going towards HOWELL, who had a house. When you turn before you get into Mavona, HOWELL house was on the left hand side, I think One Hand. Henry One Hand lives there right now, and I'll give you a story about that house in a while, Quill and myself. And then and all the other areas in that area going down to Kia, who to me was in Backstreet still, because Kia was on the other side of the river, and I considered that Backstreet. People like Cynthia and them I would consider Liviadu, or Dream Edu, and so they would be in Liviadu, and Mawana would be in DJ. So to me, the essence of the village was Backstreet, and I, in my own way, spoke about the Backstreet boundaries, geographical boundaries, but there were other people who lived outside of the boundaries who were honorary Backstreet people. But granted, the real Backstreet boys were Quail, Alex, Alvin, Scott, and Gibbs, and the other fellas I spoke about. Appa, Pin, HOWELL, those guys. Um, but we used to be engaged in a number of activities. As I said before, on the episode before, that when we were hungry, we ate. When we were thirsty, we drank. So people used to help themselves with amenities that the earth produced. So my HOWELL had a shook can pork. Pork, I think, the cane got its name because of how it broke. It broke pork. Very, very sweet. And Quail and I went to volley cane one day. Well, one night, about 6:30. You know, a little dust. Quail is about 6'2". I'm 5'8", 9" at the time. The people back then, and still is the case, used to have clotheslines. And in the clothesline those days was not ordinary lines. I don't think people could afford to buy lines, and people really makeshift stuff. So I think it was somewhere after the hurricane, and a lot of the high tension wires were on the ground. So people untwist those wires and tie tightly between pole to pole to make clotheslines. So you know that's a serious clothesline. So now we volley a cane and we run in. And I think my HOWELL's son, his name was Lambert or something like that. He might have seen us or heard that we were in the shook can, and he running after us. I am at the front, I'm shorter than Quail, so I run past under the line. No, I didn't see the line because it was a little dark. Quail too running, he didn't see the line. All I saw is that Quail was coming towards me, then I see him start going back with his both hands up. I said, Quail, what? Come! Quail cannot talk because he's choking. The clothesline hold him there, just throw him down. And I think Lambert, whoever came over him with a cutlass and say, don't do that again. And then I came and I picked up Quail, I gave him water, and then we went home. We didn't tell our parents, you know, that Quail almost died because of a clothesline. But that's because we were volleying cane, because we wanted to have cane, we were hungry. And that was one of the things that we did. Now other fellas did more than volley cane, you know. Fellas volley shot and cook mess with people's cats. But I won't disclose that because these guys are still alive and they're my dear friends. And the people's cats they stole, some of them are still alive as well. They're relatives. So I won't declassify that. But you know, this were the days in Backstreet and Calibishie. And I can talk about when we used to cook food using little tins. But that might be another story on another episode sometime in the future.